Guess what? I have a secret pro tip that's going to ensure the background you want to remove in GIMP is selected properly for best results. And this works on any type of landscape photo you created, whether it's majestic mountains, a spectacular waterfall, or any other type of landscape image. So the editing technique you're going to learn about is perfect for when Mother Nature isn't cooperating or wasn't cooperating, and you didn't get the fluffy marshmallow clouds you were hoping for. So now you need to remove the background in GIMP, or the sky in this case, and you're not sure which GIMP selection tool is best to get the job done. No worries, the exact tool and my secret tip are coming up right now. So if you're ready, let's do it. Hello, my name is Chris Parker, and it is my desire to help you elevate your GIMP editing skills. So here I have a photo of some majestic mountains with a boring plain sky. Now the link to this image and the fluffy clouds here that I'm going to use for this tutorial can be found in the description below. All right, let's go ahead and grab these clouds and bring them in. And let's move it below the other layer. There we go. All right, so the tool I recommend for removing backgrounds in GIMP, or the sky, is the fuzzy select tool, which is right here. Now, there are some tool options you should be aware of to get the best results with this particular tool, because it's not going to give you the exact results you want once you start using it. So let's check out the tool options down here, and we'll go over everything so you have an idea of how to set the tool options for best results. All right, so the tool options are set up into 5 different sections. So we have our modes here. All of these options here are the behaviors of the tool. Below that, we have a threshold slider, and then a drop-down menu underneath it, and then draw mask. So the mode is set by default to replace any current selection, or if no selection is already created, then it will create that selection for you. The second option you can add to your selection by either selecting this in the tool option, but I prefer the keyboard shortcut, which is the shift key. So shift and then click to add. Subtract from your selection is going to be your control key, and then you can use this fourth option here to intersect your selection. So kind of cut it in half, or cut it where you place that particular adjustment. The second and the third are the ones you're going to use the most. Okay, anti-aliasing is going to smooth out the edge of your selection, and I recommend always having that turned on. Then we have feather edges. So feather edges, when you select this, it's going to give you a radius slider, and this is going to give you control over the pixel depth for the edges smoothness. So the greater the feather, the more smooth and rounded that particular selection is going to be. Typically, I like to keep this very low or turned off. It all depends on the image, and you're going to need to adjust this according to your own images. Then just below that, we have select transparent areas. So if you have any transparency in your image, it will then select those as well, or that part of the image as well. And then the next option is sample merged. And if you have multiple layers in your image, it will then sample the colors of those different layers to make your selection or add to your selection. Diagonal neighbors, this option will increase the number of pixels considered for sampling the colors from 4 to 8. And I'll explain more about that in a second when we get into how the tool actually works, which will give you a better understanding of how it's making the selections and what you need to do to get the best results out of it. And then the threshold right here is going to be the most used tool option, and it's used for pinpointing what's selected. So increasing the threshold slider will increase the number of colors sampled for your selection. So in other words, the higher the threshold, the more colors that are going to be selected. Next, we have select by, which is going to allow you to narrow your color range by choosing a specific color channel. So if you click on this, you will see that we have composite by default. Then we have the RGB values, or the RGB channels, red, green, and blue, and then some other values here as well. Now, personally, I've never used anything other than composite. And once I show you the secret tip for using this particular tool, you'll see why you don't need to use any one of these specific color channels. Now, when it comes to draw mask, I like to have that turned on because it's going to provide a color overlay that represents the pixels being selected. And it's easier to see the overlay versus those little dancing ants that occur once you make your selection. All right, so this is how the fuzzy select tool works. What we're going to do is we're going to click on our sky, a specific color that we want to target. Once you click on it, GIMP is going to begin selecting multiple pixels based on that color you selected. And as you can see, we have a large portion of the sky selected, but not all of it. So what is happening is the color that you clicked on is the reference color. Then GIMP will look at the pixels next to that pixel to see if they fall within the range of the threshold that you set in the tool options. So the threshold is kind of like a range of colors or the different shades of a particular color. And then it looks for those similar colors based on that threshold. Now, once a color is beyond that threshold, it's no longer within those ranges of colors or shades of color, it will stop making selections. So you have to come down here and increase your threshold if you want to select more of the sky. The only problem is if you go too high with the threshold, it will then begin selecting part of your foreground as it is right now. Now it's kind of hard to see right now, but if I turn on Draw Mask and click once and hold down my left mouse button, you will see that pink overlay. So this is the mask that's showing everything that's being selected. So this is why I like to have Draw Mask turned on. And this is how I recommend using the Fuzzy Select tool. We want to set the threshold to around 10 to 15. Then you're going to start off by clicking a color, hold down that mouse button again, that left mouse button, and drag your mouse down. And as you do, that threshold slider begins to increase and the number of pixels begins to increase as well. So I'm going to continue going down until that overlay shows up in the mountains here, so the foreground. Now I can scroll back up or move my mouse up to lower the threshold to remove the mountain from being selected. Once I do that, the selection is updated. Now I can hold down my Shift key to add to the selection, hold down that left mouse button, click, and drag down to increase your selection. Again, I'm going to keep going down until I have all of it selected or until parts of the mountain is selected as well. So I'm going to go ahead and move back up because this part down here was being selected. And then I can grab my zoom tool here to zoom in. Then the letter U to grab the fuzzy select tool, shift, and click in this area to add that part of the background. I have part of the mountain here, so I can hold down my control key, click, and drag down to increase the selection range for that part of the image that should not be selected. I have a little piece over here as well. So I'll do the same thing, looking pretty good. And then Control Shift J to zoom all the way out. Now I think there's a couple little pieces here and there where I need to fine tune my selection, but I think you get the idea on how to select your background now with the Fuzzy Select tool. What I want to do next is show you my recommended way of removing the background, which is not to delete the pixels permanently. Because if you make a mistake and you want to go back and change it later on, well, if those pixels are gone forever, then you can't bring them back. But you can temporarily hide them with a layer mask. So we're going to click right here. Now, because we have the sky selected, and because we want to use selection for our layer mask, we need to invert the mask. Once you do that, click Add, boom. The background is now gone. How cool is that? I love it. Now you can paint with black or white on the layer mask to show or hide those pixels if needed. Make sure to check out this playlist right here to learn more ways to remove backgrounds in GIMP, because there's more than one way and we have multiple selection tools to do it.